stress, it takes away the raw materials which makes estrogen and progesterone.
I was messaging
So
that.
cortisol going up, you can always say that estrogen progesterone is going to get compromised. So this is very, very important also to remember. So this, all of these words begin with S. So you can remember all the S's for lifestyle that we have. And then hormone disruptors. I'm wearing nail polish, it's okay. It's not that wearing once is going to do something, but ewg.org, that website, if you want to take a picture, they have a very nice list of hormone disruptive chemicals, which you find in a lot of cosmetics. And once I read, it showed that before a woman leaves the house in the morning, she has already exposed herself to at least 300 chemicals unknowingly. Unknowingly. So I think this is important because what does it mean, hormone disruptor, right? So some of these chemicals mimic estrogen in your body. So what happens? Your cells have to take in the estrogen that is in your blood, right? So the cell has to open the door, the estrogen has to come in, right? But if an imposter gets in, something that is mimicking estrogen, so the receptors, they misread the signal. So the estrogen comes in. Now the cell says, I already have estrogen, I don't need it. So when the real estrogen is floating around, your cell will not receive it. So in this way, you're poisoning those receptors in a way when we are exposing ourselves. And a biggest one, I think, is plastic bottles, especially if it's sitting in the hot sun. And if anything you're eating tastes like plastic, then you are eating plastic. That's that. So this is something important. And EWG, again, it's a very good resource if you're looking for the list of chemicals. Uh, I talk about exercise a little bit because all three kinds, and actually there's a fourth one, the Kegel. Is everybody familiar with the Kegel exercises? Yeah, that is again important because remember, when estrogen is dipping, we want the pelvic floor to be strong. So a lot of things, you can do yoga, Pilates, all those things, but don't forget to have some kind of aerobic activity. What they're saying is at least 2 hours in a week, however you distribute it, should be where you are able to raise your body temperature a little bit, where you're sweating a little. And then you have resistance and strength training because of BBC, bone. We want to protect the bone. So this is important. So I always say for exercise, don't do it because you have to do it or you have to enjoy it. Only then it's sustainable. So join a yoga class or somewhere in a group. And I really appreciate WOW for that. I know you have little groups for everything, Rashmi. So yeah, so go ahead, do that. And then LEA, right? So now we're talking about attitude. So this is really important. And cortisol, like I said, it will impact estrogen and progesterone. It will also impact your insulin and thyroid. So when this menopause is setting in, a lot of women who had pre-diabetes, it can just push them over the edge into the diabetic. So what this cortisol is really, really important. And again, Rashmi and I were talking the other day, we want to do a good job all the time everywhere, but we sometimes forget to take care of ourselves. So this time in menopause, okay, let me tell you one more thing. So estrogen is the hormone which makes women externally driven. Even though you may consider it a stereotype, but this is what makes us so good at nurturing and caring. And when estrogen starts dipping, we may not feel like nurturing and caring. Okay, that may be the time that we want to go inward and want to nurture and care for ourselves. And what society might do for us is make us feel that guilt or that obligation. What kind of mom are you? Or, what kind of a wife are you? So I just want to say that because if we don't fill our cup, you cannot pour from an empty cup ever, right? So if you and I don't take care of ourselves first, if we don't make that self-care a priority, so this is what I mean by attitude. I'm not just talking about positive attitude and having those things will help, believe me, but we have to change our mindset. There's a reason nature gave us estrogen in a certain season of our life, and there's a reason nature has now asking us to take a step back. And when we are fulfilled, believe me, our families, our friends, everybody will be happy. So we have to prioritize our self-care. If because I know a lot of women do. So I don't mind if you want to have a conversation later, we can discuss some strategies. But if you're having a hard time dealing with any kind of this chronic guilt or obligation, or sometimes you might feel grief and loss too, I can share very personally, I'm being honest. When I first started having perimenopause, and I'm okay to share that I'm in menopause now. Um, I did one day, I just experienced a lot of grief because I felt very slow. And I was thinking, no, before I could do this and that and that. And now I'm saying no left and right to people for things that I want, for things that I enjoy. And why am I slowing down like this, you know? So this grief will come because you are entering a different phase. Maybe you are also going through emptiness at the same time, right? So there is that grief and loss, you cannot deny it. Don't shove it under the rug. It's okay to have those feelings. And if you want to talk to friends or a therapist or however you want it, and spirituality and inward reflection, this is a perfect time because you are driven to go inward. And CBT is just cognitive behavior therapy in case you feel like you need some extra help. So now I want to talk about nutrition. There are all of you, I know you guys read a lot, you have a lot of knowledge. So I'm probably just sharing something that you already know, but just to reinforce, protein, without proteins and fats, without healthy fats, we cannot build those steroid hormones that we need. And we need protein too. A lot of us are not realizing we may be deficient in protein, especially if you're vegetarian. You have to be mindful. 1.2 grams per kilogram of body weight is typically when you are in menopause. And even before that, I think it's pretty much similar. It's similar, right?
Especially in menopause, you need more
More
protein
protein.
than how much you need before.
Yes,
So
because
it
you
goes and depends on your sedentary activity level also.
all
Yeah.
those things.
Yeah.
But for a normal person with a 2000 calorie diet,
Yeah.
it's 1.2. So try to be mindful in bringing in more protein into your meals. Whatever is suiting you. I know a lot of people don't like eggs, so you can try the tofu, the organic, non-GMO. You can try, quinoa has some protein. There are plant proteins. I don't want to go into the sources because I don't want to. Anything you can Google and you can chat GPT. I am
Yeah.
skipping. But we do want your blood sugars to be stable throughout the day, and getting a protein in every meal will help with that. Many times at night, I have made the mistake where I'll eat my roti, dal, sabji, the vegetables. I totally won't think about the protein. And then I used to check my blood sugars when I had gestational diabetes, and I would notice it shooting up. And then just simply adding a little egg would make it come down. So the protein part is important. And then phytoestrogens. These are plant estrogens. So now what's happening when your body is dipping in estrogen, getting it from food is actually a safe way to do it. But I will tell you, um, food is better than supplements any day when it comes to phytoestrogens because supplements can be too potent. And if you have a history of breast cancer in your family, or there are some estrogen sensitive cancers, phytoestrogen supplements, I think, should not be taken without consulting with at least a physician who can do a proper intake for you and help you understand your levels. But getting it from food, it's a one safe way of doing it. Soy, they had very conflicting studies about soy. If you read the older studies, they would say, no, it's not good for breast cancer, you shouldn't eat it. Then the newer studies were like, no, that risk was been debunked, that myth has been debunked. It's organic, non-GMO, you can totally include that. It's cardioprotective. So I put soy here. But flax and legumes also have phytoestrogens. So be mindful when your estrogen is dipping, you can include some of these foods to help with that. The crucifers are very important because estrogen cannot stay too long in the blood. Once it is produced and it is used, the liver has to clear it. If the liver is slow and your fatty liver, or if your liver enzymes are high, whatever that is, right, then it's not able to do its job very fast, very well. So what will happen? Estrogen will now build in the blood. So far we are talking about low estrogen, but high estrogen also has a problem. Estrogen dominance, like I said in the beginning, you'll have that breast pain and tenderness and bloating and weight gain. So we don't want high, we don't want low. We just kind of want it in a steady. Nuts and seeds are also very good for this time. anything omega-3, like walnuts have omega-3 if you're plant-based. If you eat fish, that has omega-3s. And then calcium, I'm a big fan of getting it from the diet. Calcium supplements I'm not a big fan of, especially for women. If you're taking calcium, I think one of the things is the arteries, right? Calcium can deposit in arteries. We don't know, every body is different. So I'm a big fan of from the diet. And then for bone protection, more of those strength training and that resistance training, that might be, and so calcium, the leafy greens, and if you can eat dairy. And vitamin D, you can take a supplement or from sunshine. So now the second approach to wellness, this slide is part of all my talks, and also for hormone balance, it's very important that your gut health and your hormone health are very closely linked also. Gut health is linked to everything. But in the case of hormones, there is actually a subset of your microbiome, which is called your estrobiome, that actually directly impacts estrogen metabolism. So, how can one thing that I want to say here for digestion is one habit that we are not mindful sometimes, we're not chewing our food very well. Sometimes we chew very fast, we are under stress when we are eating. Actually, treat every meal as sacred now. Have a good relationship with food, have a good relationship with yourself, right? So, eat when you're eating, make sure you're not eating under stress and you're chewing your food really well. When you chew your food well, all the hormones of digestion and all the enzymes will work properly. And if not, then we are not feeding the good bacteria, we are feeding the parasitic ones, and the dysbiosis within the gut will affect everything, not just hormones. So, this is something I just wanted to point out. So, the reason I'm showing all these things, the lean and all this, I just want you to understand that we have so many tools. We have so many approaches that we can take to help ourselves through this time. And then detox, I just talked about the liver, right? The crucifers, because the liver has to clear the estrogen. But I'll tell you one thing. Okay, I'm the one talking, so I'll ask a question. What are the colors of the Indian flag?
Orange, white, green.
Orange, white, green, right? So when you go to the grocery store, think of Indian flag, orange, white, green. Things orange that are citrus. White could be onions, garlic, and greens are your leafy greens. And Indian flag, think Indian flag, think liver. All those foods will help your liver. Okay, so you will remember now, orange, white, and green, right? And then talking about the blood sugar. So we think of blood sugar, we think of diabetes, right? Like a disease. But for many of us, we may not have full blown diabetes, but we may be walking around with dysfunction. And what does it mean? Dysfunction means too high, too low during the day, like going on a roller coaster. So energy is not stable, you'll be very tired. So a lot of the symptoms of menopause get exacerbated from just a sugar roller coaster. So always make sure, like I said, eat a little bit of protein, a little fat with every meal. Reduce your carbs as much as you can, the simple ones. I'm talking more like grains, but fruits and vegetables, of course, we want. And then hydration. Again, see, all these are from D words, so you'll remember. So dehydration we don't want, but we also don't want to overhydrate and dilute our minerals. So just drink, the 6 to 8 glasses, however, just try at least that much during the day. So I want to ask you, what are some of the wellness trends that you may have heard of in terms of how to manage this phase of your life, menopause, perimenopause, PMS?
The first thing which I see
Yeah,
is
this one, hormone replacement
Replacement.
therapy.
and the
Yeah.
second is especially those who are feeling their weight gaining their weight, they're directly switching towards the intermittent fasting without knowing their body about their gastritic and their reflux. They are just switching it, and they are believing that within a 3 month or within a 6 month they follow the intermittent, and then they come back to the their
Mm,
own
the
diet.
own diet.
But again, it's risky.
Yes, thank you so
And
much,
also
Reena.
random taking of supplements without really getting into details.
Mhm.
Like they'll just go and take ashwagandha or shatavari, like without consulting doctors. So that is also not.
That is definitely, I
Mhm.
hear them all the time.
Mhm.
Anybody else heard of any miracle pills or any other wellness trends for this part?
Estrogen patches, you have
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
estrogen patches
also.
for sure.
Mhm.
Anything else? So there's also a lot of talk about bioidentical hormones
Mhm.
and creams and gels and
Yeah.
yeah,
powders,
powders. Yeah,
gels.
absolutely. I really want to address this because
Mhm.
this is something that cannot be done without proper consideration. And we have to be very responsible when we are trying different therapies and different supplements. The first thing I want to say when I tried to do this, look for the research on hormone replacement, there are tons and tons of studies and papers that are there. I have all the links if you're interested. After the session, I can email them to you. But after I read everything, these are my conclusions. So I just want to share them with you. Most of the studies had the consensus that if you're going to do some kind of hormone replacement, it's better to do it before the age of 60, because after that, the risks of cardiac events like strokes or heart attack can go up. So and also within the first 10 years of menopause is where you might see more benefit, and after that it may be more risk than benefit. So again, it depends on your age and when you started menopause. Another thing is that some studies in the past showed, again, for people who have a history of breast cancer or heart disease in the family, that there could be a risk. Some other study shows, oh, it's no different than the risk if you're obese or you're drinking alcohol. Well, a risk is a risk, right? So we have to be aware of that. And then the therapies have changed over the time. Some before it started as estrogen, then some people are doing progesterone only. Then there's estrogen progesterone combinations. There are pills, there are gels, there are creams, all kinds of patches, right? We said. So all of those have different risk. So a pill might carry a little bit more risk than suppose a patch or a gel or a cream. So these are all have been studied very well. And if you are having symptoms that you just, I mean, it's completely crippling you and you really feel the need for it, I would say that please talk to your physician. They will do a proper physical and determine your risk factors. They should share that with you and then only decide what you're going to do. And again, the dose matters, the duration matters. Short term, it may still be okay, but long term, it would definitely carry some risks. So you need to figure that out with your physician. And then bioidentical hormones, just because it's not synthetic, it's plant based, and some of them are synthetic, they're made in the lab, but they mimic your body's estrogen, they carry the same risks. So this just because something is natural, it doesn't mean that it doesn't carry a risk. It'll carry the same risk, so you need to be aware. And with bioidentical, one more thing I just wanted you guys to be aware of is sometimes they are compounded, and the percentages of the hormones, it may say so much estrogen, so much progesterone, but in reality, it may not have that. Because this compounding is also very nuanced. So getting it from a very, very trusted source, if you are planning to. So basically, I'm saying don't just buy off of Amazon because you don't know the source. That's what I'm saying here. And so be careful with this. And again, if you really need it, please do talk to your physician. I feel that if we can handle our sugar, our stress, and if we can somehow start with make these lifestyle habits slowly, slowly bring them in, I think you will be able to manage it because it's not forever. It's a phase. And once those changes are done and your hormones stabilize, those symptoms should go away. So, and I want to address what Reena brought up, very important, intermittent fasting.
Yeah.
The thing is, it could work for so many people, but doing anything long term is I don't advise it. But also, we may not know where our blood sugars are. So, for example, I know someone, they were doing intermittent fasting, but when they went for the physical, it showed high A1C. And in that situation, if you're intermittent fasting, you could be in the danger of having nocturnal hypoglycemia. Means in your sleep, your blood sugar could drop very, very low, right? So we don't know. So what I'm saying is just follow your body, just understand your body, know your body, get your physical done so you know your numbers, right? So with intuition and with data together, you can understand your body. So this is very important. Doesn't matter which expert is telling you what, even me or doctor or anyone else, right? Must take a look and see what's going on. So then we'll know.
I just have one question.
Yes,
Do you
Vala.
think all PCPs are knowledgeable in helping you with this, or would you say you should go to a functional?
I think for the hormone replacement therapy, if you're not doing for bioidentical, I don't know, but I don't think a lot of PCPs might know. So maybe functional, but there are some FDA regulated bioidenticals. Your PCP might know about that. But if you're just looking for like, the ones that are not synthetic, but really just truly mimicking estrogen, right? The functional medicine doctor might know more. But I prefer PCP for the hormone replacement because they know the studies, they know what's out there, they know all the different pills and gels and the risk factors.
Yeah, I was thinking even of ashwagandha or something like. But even for that, I think it is better to go through an endocrinologist or a
Yeah, like a specialist. Yes, yes. That's thank you, Gitu. Yes, yes, a medical doctor is what I meant. Yeah, it would be good to. Yes, if you are looking into it. But I do agree with you also, Bala, that supplements, they may not know. But supplements, again, are natural ways that we can help ourselves. But again, I just want to say something. It's natural, it's fine. But anything which has the power to make a positive change can also make a negative change because it depends. It has the power to change something, right? So we have to just understand all the risks. And short term, I'm never a fan of long term. So one of the things that I've seen in my practice was that when people would come to me, I would say, bring your supplements first. I want to see what you're taking. So the first time the person brought 2 Trader Joe's bags full.
Oh my God.
And I thought, okay, one time it has happened. But then over 2, 3 years, I noticed everybody was bringing 6, 8, 10, 12. So then I thought, what is going on? And sometimes what happens is we're making the same mistake we do with sometimes in medicine, right? One pill for one ill, right? We are trying to manage that. We are trying to use supplements same as medicine because we are saying, oh, that one is synthetic and this one is natural. But what happens is two things, liver, kidney. Too many supplements will, first of all, that's the first place it goes, liver and kidney, right? Will feel the load of it. Secondly, we don't understand many of the interactions with other supplements which we are. So what I'm saying, not saying you can't take supplements, I'm saying the level of responsibility and you have to educate yourself very much. And nowadays information is available, right? One of the things, before I talk about this, I just want to say that if you take a picture of this, if you go to my website, on the second tab is called books. And if you scroll, I have a few books, but if you scroll all the way down, you can download it for free. It's a book I wrote a few years ago because I started seeing this problem in my practice. So I thought I'll just write the book and I'll just hand it to people as a handout, right? So
That's
you
so
can
nice of you.
download.
Yeah.
No problem. You can download. It's called A Beginner's Guide to Using Supplements.
And it's free, guys.
It's free. You can just download it. And it has everything I look for. So if you don't have time to read, just go straight to the last chapter and I have all my tips on what to do before you look into buying a supplement. And I definitely want you to understand that it's not something you just take ad hoc. Just be mindful. So let's talk about some of them because you will come across it, especially with the menopause symptoms, right? Black cohosh, there are studies done that do show that it helps with the hot flashes and night sweat. But again, I would say same risk, short term may be better. Same risk as, maybe with the estrogen therapy or something like that. So just short term is fine if you really need it, but will it work or not? There's no guarantee. Your body, only you will know after you try it. Personally, I am not recommending it. I just want it to be up there because you will read about it. And I would also advise you, if you're planning to do any of this, just put it in Google or ChatGPT and see what comes up. They will condense all the research for you.
Yeah.
I sometimes feel they'll take my job. They'll write a diet chart
Especially with
also.
AI, yes.
Yeah. And that's okay. I don't mind as long as you're being responsible. Ashwagandha and Shatavari are herbs that are used. Now, ashwagandha has been studied and it shows that yes, it can help. You know how? Because it regulates your cortisol. And see, when your cortisol is regulated, estrogen will be also, progesterone will be also, right? But ashwagandha, if it's too much for your body, it will create toxicity for your thyroid. So again, right, 300 milligrams is what they say, and doesn't need to be more than that. Doesn't need to be long term. That's the thing, you have to keep switching and you have to keep giving your body a break. And you have to stop in between to see if it's working. Okay, now, while I'm making these lifestyle changes, maybe I don't need it anymore. So you have to also keep check in with yourself, right? And Shatavari, although it's been very effective for these menopause symptoms, you have to really watch out for your blood sugar. See, that's what I mean. Every single herb, it can benefit you, but you have to understand side effect and you have to understand your risk factors with your family history. When I had gestational diabetes, I didn't know I had it. So at the time, if I'm doing something, it's affecting my sugar, I don't even know it. Only because I checked, right? Because the doctor was checking. So getting a physical done with a hemoglobin A1C, making sure your blood sugar is fine. And I'll just say, having said that, I am cautious of herbs, but I'm a little bit more free when it comes to like nutrient supplements because, okay, if you're under a lot of stress, sometimes B vitamins can help cope, right? Magnesium and B vitamins also support progesterone. So again, magnesium you can get from seeds and nuts and leafy greens. So again, maybe you don't need to take it as a supplement. Maybe you can get it from your food. Omega-3, some people could have a problem, especially if you're not eating fish. And maybe walnuts, you can try that, right? So, and then evening primrose oil, the same thing as black cohosh, but little bit less effective. But again, I can't say. It will depend on how your body is. But as what Bala said also, if you are planning to do any of this, please see a functional doctor, get all the blood work done. Please understand the side effects and the risk factors. This is my one big request. Other than this, with lifestyle and food, I think it will reduce the severity and we can manage. So I just wanted to say that whatever we shared here, right, whatever makes sense for your life, for the context of your life, because each one is busy, each one has a different life, right? So it has to be tailored to you. This is the most important thing. And support is really important. Educating your spouses and your children. Because when I was going through my perimenopause, it hurt me to lose my temper with my child, right? As a mother, that guilt is there, right? Like, why did I say that? Why did I do that? So once I was able to sit down, talk to them, right? I am going through something, this is it. I also realized if I'm feeling this way, I'll just walk away. I go to my study room, I'll close the door. They know door is closed, do not disturb mommy. End of story. So, but it's not gloom and doom. Like I said, estrogen was driving you outward. This is a chance life is giving you, nature is giving you to go inward, right? So enjoy this new chapter. Take it as a fun. Once you're through with the perimenopause and you're on to the other side, there are things waiting for you. It could be your dreams that you didn't get to fulfill because you were raising family, right? So many things, right? So create mindfully, enjoy this chapter, and think about what changes will you implement. You might see this presentation and say, I'm already doing all this. That's awesome. But if you're not and you're thinking, oh my God, am I so far behind now? No, it's not, because now you'll start not from scratch, but from experience. It's a Mel Robbins quote, right? So I just want to encourage you. Yeah, take care of yourself. That was it.
So we can have some QA if anyone wants to ask any question. And I have one question in the chat.
Yes, sure.
Someone
Rashmi.
asked, she said, you said cruciferous vegetables can help with the estrogen dominance and all, but she has thyroid. So what do you
Oh,
think she
yeah.
should consider?
With thyroid, I know they generally say not to,
But moderation
but
should be,
moderation. Food, I think it's hard to overdose
yeah,
because our bodies are so intelligent. You will get tired of eating the same food.
right.
So if you eat a crucifer today, you may not eat it for another two,
Yeah,
3
maybe
days.
alternate days you should definitely, what I have experienced, even if
Yeah.
you have thyroid.
Yeah, it
But
is
yeah,
not as
alternate,
potent.
yeah.
You
The
know, Reena,
quantity matters and
quantity,
how you
I'm
cook it
not
also
sure about
matters.
that. I think the
So,
blanching was only for like getting rid of like the
and yeah, if you
parasites
have
or
any question,
Okay,
yeah,
so
I'm
please
not
push
sure.
Okay, because
Oh, sorry,
I
she's
read in
asking.
some book in the
I
naturopathy
will definitely look it
that
up.
those who have a thyroid, and it's work on my student as
Yeah.
well. So they some
Oh, the
thyroid levels
heat.
are very high.
I think cooking it, blanching it will
Yes,
reduce it. Yes,
exactly.
you're right, Reena.
Yes.
Thank you.
So
And
when
one more
Yeah.
thing, you should cut cauliflower and leave it for some times to activate that enzyme.
Yeah.
So that also helps to reduce the bloating
Yeah.
and yeah.
Yeah.
And one more thing, because it's work on
Yeah,
my students.
whenever you,
broccoli,
yeah,
cabbage,
broccoli, any cruciferous
what is
vegetable,
blanching?
let it stay
Basically,
for the
as an
enzymes
Indian
to become
woman, when we
active.
say blanching,
When you cut it,
we just
just
put
leave it for 10
boil it.
minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
no,
that I
that's
think
called
I
the
shared
blanching.
long time back.
When you blanch, you just make a water very hot
Yeah.
at a
Just
certain temperature level. Just dip
Gluten,
it for a 2
yeah,
minute.
thyroid
I would
patients
say,
should
like in
not
say,
eat
just
gluten.
dip it,
Yes, they
lift
should
it
avoid.
out and put it into the cold water.
yes.
So that's called an actual
Yeah.
blanching,
Yeah.
which take not all the nutrients.
Yeah.
Can you say that again? I didn't hear that.
So usually we get confused in blanching and boiling. So when we say blanching, any green leafy vegetable means sometimes we put the boiling water. We already put the veggies in it and we start the gas over there and we boil it and we take it out. Usually the blanching is take the thing, whatever you're cooking into the sweet or any kind of chutney, and then you just boil the water very hot. Put it, count it 10 seconds to 20 seconds. Take it out, blanch it
Yeah.
with a very cold water, ice water. So then you can lock the nutrition, but which you don't want it, you can take it out.
That's a very
And
good
for the
point.
soya as well,
very
I
good.
heard
We
a
do
lot
it
of
for
Soya is
broccoli
best.
to
Yeah.
retain
Yes.
the color,
Yes.
just for the but
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's a
so
good
in
point.
Correct.
Yeah.
olden days, I heard like my grandma was used to do it to make the palak paneer very green.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, that's why. That's
they
what I was saying.
have the
They
secrets,
had the
Yeah.
knowledge.
right?
Yeah.
They,
Coriander
they,
chutney also,
yes.
they put some ice, the color
Yeah.
will be there.
Yeah,
Correct.
and in
Correct.
soya, this is work on my student for the soya because she was lacto intolerance. So soya, she then I advise her to dip it into the garlic water.
Mhm.
So basically, when we boil the soya, we boil it in the plain water. So just put the garlic powder or one stem of garlic in the water, make it boil first, and then put the soya. So in this way, you can reduce the enzymes which you don't want it for your thyroid, but on the other side, you can have a good taste.
Mhm.
That's a
Yeah.
wonderful advice. Those small
Yeah.
tips really
Yeah.
help.
But in that regard, what should you do for the tofu, or that is also soya product, right?
Yeah.
See, as she's mentioned, tofu, you have to see which tofu from where
Yeah.
it is made up.
Yeah.
She mentioned that's what was my second question to her, that she mentioned some name which is
The-
free, dash free.
Fermented tofu
no,
is good for
organic and
thyroid patient.
non-GMO.
But
Tempeh is
non-GMO. Tofu is highly
Non-GMO.
processed, right? Yeah,
But
so it's
that's what you
non-GMO.
have to see where you're
Where you're
procuring
getting it from.
non-GMO, organic,
Organic.
and for I think I prefer tempeh than
Yeah.
tofu.
Yeah.
If people who
It's
are having,
fermented,
yeah,
yeah.
the fermentation will help to reduce the
Yeah,
toxicity.
and those who are not lacto intolerance, they can have the paneer pani. We call it
Mhm.
as a paneer pani. That digest very easily. That's make you fill all the time and like a chia seed, right? So if you are bloating and if you're having it, that's a little. It's not you have not a full
Not too
glass.
much.
So just a little. It should be warm. That will cleanse your whole body, detox your body. On the other side, but yeah, you should be a non-lacto intolerance, right?
Yeah.
So you can have that. That's a very good.
It's a good thing. Anyone else have any questions?
So
I
one
know
question.
look at the
Yeah.
But I just wanted to share my experience
Mhm.
because I'm really very, very particular about who I go to for advice.
Yeah.
And my PCPs somehow did not know anything.
Mm.
And I have a scoliosis, and
Mhm.
I'm older than most of you over here, nearly everyone, I think. And I was very worried about my bone health. So I
1
went
minute. I
to,
just wanted to say we are YouTube live. You're okay, or I can
Yeah,
mute
that's
it. You're fine. Okay. If other
um,
people can get help out of it, that's fine.
so this would be helpful. So I
Okay.
had gone to the orthopedic surgeon and asked him because I wanted them to take a baseline of what my curvatures are, so then I'll know if it's increasing or whatever. And he was like, he didn't even do a full assessment, but he was totally into, apparently he's just gone into functional medicine. And he said, I want to do all these tests. I don't know how many tests he ordered. And he said, you know what happened to me? And
Mhm.
he told me that these are the supplements you have to take.
Mm.
Now, they did find that estrogen was low. And he told me, you take these. And he was like, you just have to take it for 3 months. And I took it and I went for Ayurvedic treatment after that. And I came back. And I came 4 days after I came back from India. I was giving a workshop and I felt dizzy. Headache. No, I had a headache. And they basically, I had to go to ER. My heart rate was high, this, that, everything. And they found out it was a supplement at the orthopedic surgeon.
I
Actually, it
think I
wasn't. They
remember the
didn't find
time
out.
when
Ah,
you went to emergency.
You
That's
did
the
know,
time?
yeah,
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
your friend. And I had to do my research because
Oh, I
they
didn't know
just
it's
blamed
because of that.
Ayurvedic. They blamed Ayurvedic. I called Ayurvedic doctors. They were like, we can tell you it is not that. Then I went back and I forget the name of the, I think I just blocked it off now.
It was, Bala, you told me and I can't remember
Because
it.
when you heard
Was
it,
it
you were like,
berberine?
Bala, that is completely horrible.
Yeah,
When
because
I
I knew
told
it
her,
would. I can't. Was it berberine? I
no,
can't
it
remember. It
wasn't
was a
that.
B. It was starting with a
I
B.
think one should always consult their
Yeah.
functional medicine doctor or people who have
Oh,
good
it
knowledge
was
before taking
taurine,
any
Bala.
supplement.
Taurine, yes.
It was taurine.
Taurine, okay.
Berberine is cinnamon.
That's, no, berberine sometimes for sugar when people take,
Yeah,
right?
that's what I
Like,
said.
yeah,
Cyclone
yeah. This was taurine.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Our
cinnamon.
viewers
So
are
just be
all
careful.
WOW
I'm saying
members
it.
are really,
That's what I was
really
saying. Which
Yeah.
specialist you go
knowledgeable.
to?
They're all very
Established
smart.
neurologist is a good
They have good knowledge of
Pooja, I have a
nutrition.
two more important question. I think at every point as a woman, we
Listen,
always
guys.
stuck. If you're a doctor, if you are into wellness field or whatever it is. So number one is whatever it is, the hormones or whatever hormones it is, the weight gain,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Either I talk about the right side or the left side, weight gain. So what would you advise? Because when, especially when you're 42, 43, you're not that too old and now you're not that too young.
Yeah.
Right? So you get very confused. Like people start with the spices water, shots like
Mm-hmm.
jeera pani,
Mm-hmm.
cinnamon pani, without knowing their own body, what suits their own body. And the second thing is, periods.
Mm-hmm.
They either comes very early or very late,
Mm-hmm.
very low, like just for 2 days, or very high.
Mm-hmm.
So, what should be the mindset of every woman that they should take it when they are increasing the weight? What is the first step they should take it, basically?
So whenever I hear, like, so, when I was talking in that slide about the foundations, that is the dysfunction in blood sugar and the liver. If the liver is sluggish, the body will hold on to weight if the liver is sluggish, because the fat cells is where the toxins are stored, right? So when I was working with people, I've never worked with someone to just for weight loss, but when we would be working for removing all the processed food, removing as much sugar as possible, bringing in that orange, white, green, the crucifers, if you can do that. Keeping the liver healthy it will help with your blood sugar metabolism as well as detox, right? So why we do all this jeera pani and all that? Because we're trying to detox, right? We're trying to push the liver to do. But the liver itself, if you give it rest, right, that means you cut out caffeine, too much caffeine. So if you love chocolate, I'm sorry, but cut that out for some time as well. Alcohol, a lot of grains that are simple, If you want to eat roti, for example, you can make it a little bit more complex. You can add like some tofu, like you can blend it with the organic non-GMO tofu, or, so there are different ways. If we reduce our grains and you bring in more of those low glycemic grains, try to make it low glycemic, which is going to keep your blood sugar stable. So two things which always affect weight, one is the liver function and the other one is your blood sugar regulation. Without that, actually without those two, we cannot even get the hormone balance. And stress is the third thing, because stress makes us either eat more or actually not eat at all. And both can be detrimental. When we're not eating at all, the body can start producing copious amounts of sugar. Just remember this, whenever there is sugar floating in your blood, and if you're insulin resistant, right, it has nowhere to go, it'll go straight to the fat cell. That's it. So, exercise, of course, will help because it will help your overall metabolism, but
And some
diet
kind
is
of
very
detox.
important.
So when you say, to avoid some grains,
Yeah,
right,
like,
what kind of, what are the
yeah.
highlighted grains over?
So highlighted grain is mainly wheat and rice, which is higher in glycemic index. And glycemic index, I think you all know, right? It will measure how the sugar is spiking in your blood, right? So, and I think we have next month talk coming up.
Yeah, we
And
have
this is,
insulin resistance. There's
yeah.
a dietitian right there.
And so I would love to be in that one, Gitu, because we can learn some ways how we can keep our sugar stable. I'll tell you one thing, you will know it. Even without checking, I used to check 3-4 times in a day. But after a while, even without checking, I will know. You'll feel so sleepy, or you'll get so jittery, and you eat something, you feel better. So it's the highs and the lows, the highs and the lows. When it spikes like that, it's perfect. It will go into the fat cell because, it's if there is
Now you can
insulin
even measure
resistant,
with that
you
thing,
can
like you
measure
can
with the
just measure,
patch,
and whatever you eat, you can
and you
measure
can
your
see.
insulin.
And you can see. But without regulating insulin and without a healthy liver function, it is hard to lose weight. Because insulin, all those things will again affect estrogen, progesterone, everything.
I'll just add to that.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
please.
let's give
I'm
chance
so happy
to
we have all.
let's give chance to someone who has not asked it.
So
Okay.
you said rice and other wheat, right? What about millets and ancient rices? Like there are
They
black
are,
rice, red rice.
yeah,
Is it safe
But
to take?
moderation is
moderation.
the key.
Your portion of that should be
Sorry, I
very
am so
less
pushy.
compared to, no, good, Rashmi. Yeah.
It's a habit.
And keep a protein with it, otherwise that will sugar spike.
And also we can like rotate.
Yes, you
millets
can.
and
You
grains,
can
right, in
rotate.
that way.
Yeah, you can
Can
rotate.
we say that like we boil rice and remove that water and then it's good, it's better to, is that a myth or it's really?
Not a myth really, because some people have some people don't, it doesn't suit them, right? The phytic acid in the rice. So when you throw away the water, you throw away that one. So it doesn't irritate the lining of the gut. But
Does it help in that glycemic thing?
people, I don't, I don't think so. Yeah,
It's the same.
it's the same because
The
you
same.
are spiking. Yeah, what can affect is what else you are eating with it.
So I have a suggestion. I went through a detox with my nutritionist when I was going through this migraine and I had a lot of toxins built. The one thing she told me was start with a salad, then your protein, and then your carb. Then that
Yes.
doesn't increase your
Sugar
blood
is
sugar
much.
level, and
Yeah.
that is pretty much helped me. I've never been any border level, though my dad is highly diabetic and I
Yeah.
do have a predisposition for diabetes.
Yeah.
I believe the way you eat your meals also
very
makes a
important.
huge difference. So first the salad and then the protein and then the carb. And any which ways that the carb portion will come down because you're filled up.
Filled up, yeah. And the protein also delays the digestion a little bit, so the sugar won't spike so fast. It's perfect order.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Pooja, here two questions which is coming from my student. That's why I'm here. So basically, the number one is sometimes, when you are near to perimenopause and you say, okay, everything I'm eating healthy, but still I'm not reducing the weight. So, we get more tensed on it, like
Yeah.
we get more stress.
Yeah.
So I heard that, but really we are here together and we have so many knowledgeable people over here. So just wanted to, know about this is a myth or this is a reality that when you don't eat, your body don't release the fat, they're not, the body don't reduce the fat, because the gut will feel that, okay, I'm not getting that, tummy gets, think that, okay, I'm not getting food, so stick that
The
fat
and it'll try to store
inside
it.
you, right? Like
Yeah, it'll
stored
try
it.
to
So
store it.
does it, right? Like it's
Yeah,
like,
I definitely, I have heard there's another hormone called leptin that comes into play. So yes, I have heard that, but I always feel it's very person dependent also, because there's another thing, these days that the studies are, it's your gut. So it's your gut microbe, right? And this is such an unknown, it's not unknown completely, but I say unknown only because they've not been able to isolate 100% this bacteria will perfectly help with this, or this one will help with that one. But you and I sitting here, two things are different about us: genetics and our gut microbe, right? So for both of us, starvation might not have the same impact, right?
exactly.
But having said that, yes, I have also heard that the metabolism will slow down further when you're starving.
Starving, right?
It is the natural response of our body for the immune system.
Yeah,
That if you're not eating, it tends to store weight. That it thinks that
you're gone
not
into
going to get food for many days.
Yeah.
famine.
So somewhere it
tends
is
to do
right.
that. That's
Yes.
the natural response.
It's the evolutionary, like the famine, our ancestors used to
People who said, I am doing strength exercise, I'm doing cardio, I'm following a good diet. I have seen they are
Yeah.
literally following a good diet,
Yeah.
cardio. So in that, if you'll see their chart, if you'll see that they are eating it nice, but still they are increasing the weight without, they should reduce it.
Then in
Stress.
stress, cortisol,
Cortisol.
perfect.
Will
That's
inflammation play
yeah.
a role
Yes.
in that?
No, they are going for an inflammation diet. They're going for a detox, a very
Oh,
proper. Even if
that's
I
it.
see them, I said, "Oh my God, you are super perfect." But then they asked me, and whatever knowledge I have it. So what I said it, you are going all the way. Come on the toe, on the toe. So is it okay to give them advice to get grounded?
Yes, that she
So
said.
So she had one
Let me tell
slide,
me.
and what was it? I forgot what the acronym was, where it was exercise,
Oh,
thoughts,
the
and
lean.
right?
Yeah.
So I've seen cases, I'm a physical therapist, I've seen cases where people will do the exercises beautifully, everything, but if they are stressed out, nothing works. So when you ask that question, what
Yeah.
do you look at first?
Yeah.
Definitely that makes a huge difference, but
That cortisol is always high.
That's
It
right.
never comes
the
down.
basic would
Yeah.
be, what
Yeah.
can you do about it? Okay,
Yeah.
even if you know that you have
That's
stress,
right.
what can you do? The first thing is, are you getting enough sleep?
Mm-hmm.
Doing
That
all these
one
other things, if you're not getting enough sleep, is
is
not
so
going to work.
thing.
So first thing is sleep.
Yeah.
Then the hydration.
Yep.
If you're not hydrated,
Nothing will work.
it's just not going to, all these things will not be able to work too well. You're doing so much work, you might as well make sure your brain is able to communicate with the rest of your body. It communicates through your nerves, and your nerves have to be hydrated because it's through electrical impulses that they communicate. So if these two things are not taken care of, you could be doing so much and you're coming in the way of yourself. And then all the other things really
And
play.
so-
And exercise, of course. Now,
That's
I would say exercise is like, I am in my 60s and I did exercises and I just cut down, and thank God for Pooja. She told me don't eat
yeah, good.
after 7:30 at night. So of course there are some times when I'll do that, and I've been pre-diabetic now for more than 30 years. So
to be
I
good,
have
to
a
be
question here.
grounded,
Sorry, guys, because I think they're getting. Let me ask this first. Sorry. Someone asked, is it okay to mix all the flour, like oats, barley, like a multigrain, or it's good to have just one kind of flour? Then you
No,
eat?
you can mix it. But the only thing is, whether it's spiking your sugar or not, you won't know until you check. That's the only thing. Otherwise, it's healthy. In terms of nutritionally, it's very healthy. But if you're looking for that spike, blood sugar spike, whether it's spiking or not, each person is so different. Yeah.
So don't
depends
that then it gets contradictory, right? When we mix all the flour, we don't know which one is spiking or
Yeah, you won't know.
That's why you have to
Yeah.
be
So if you're
careful.
really looking to do the experiment, it has to be one
What
by
I
one.
have
one at
heard
a
is like
time.
your microbiome is not prepared to have all different kinds of flour. That's what I at the same time, because it really mess up with your
Digestion.
digestion. But if it suits you, it's all
That's what,
depends.
see,
Right.
that's what I was saying earlier. You have to know your body.
Yeah.
You have to know your body.
Your especially your
Yeah.
microbiome.
Yeah.
So,
For like quinoa, everybody says it's so healthy, but it does not suit my husband, right? So he knows his body.
It doesn't suit me
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
increase my carbs a lot.
Yeah.
So the last question is overall, people will ask you, I'm doing everything, but Reena, I'm not able to sleep. I want to sleep,
Yeah.
but I'm not able to sleep.
Yeah.
So is there any changes they should do it in the diet, like having, like I suggested them to go with a kesar water or chamomile tea at night, which has some tulsi in it, which
Tulsi,
relaxes
yeah.
stress. But is there any other advice which you give them?
So at night, the tryptophan, yeah, melatonin. Mhm.
Walnuts. So there are
You can
studies
have.
that show that walnuts, if you take at night,
Yeah.
they do help.
Yeah.
But yes, of course, it's a natural thing. So you can't say, "Ki I had walnuts and I go to sleep."
For me, turmeric milk
It
really
is like
helps.
over a
Yeah.
It
period
gives
of
good
time.
Me too.
oxytocin. It is the
Me too.
best thing.
Yeah.
You don't have to have the whole milk.
Yeah.
You can always mix it with
Skip it.
water
Yeah.
and little milk and turmeric and little black pepper.
And
For me,
also again you have to think of stress, and again you have to think of the circadian rhythm, right? During the day, why you have to ask the deeper question: why are they
we'll
not
take
able to sleep?
one more
right?
question, last
You have
question,
to-
if anyone wants to ask, because we are
Again,
short
blood
of
sugar
time.
also, if they are hungry, if the
But
sugar
you
is
guys are
dropping,
feel free to
stress
ask question
hormone
on
will
our
go
WOW
up,
chat,
cortisol will go
and
up, and they
Pooja
cannot
will be
sleep.
able to answer if anyone wants to ask. So
Everything is, if you think about everything, is cortisol and insulin.
Like vitamin D and K2. So like normally how long we should take if we start
supplements, she's asking.
Vitamin D.
B12?
Oh, B12. I think what I say is 90 days, but I always say please check in your blood, because it can again go up too much, right? So once a year when you go for physical, I always have vitamin D and B12 check. So those are important,
Is it
and they
okay
can.
to like leave it in a week for like we take it for 5
Yeah,
days and
yeah.
then we stop
Yeah,
for
it's
2
not
days?
7 days. I
Not
never
7
take my
days, yeah.
supplements
Take
all
for
7 days.
7 days.
You
take
give
for
your
5
body a
days
break.
and giving the break
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
My
Bec-
PCP has recommended one, like I'm taking like over the not over the
B12?
prescription, no B12.
Always take sublingual. If you take B12, the
It'll
absorption
help.
is really
It will
good.
absorb.
Thrice a week.
Sublingual.
Yeah.
You always
Yeah.
put it under the tongue. If ever you take B12,
Yeah.
the absorption is really, really good if you take sublingual.
My daughter was like
Doctor will not tell
212
you.
Oh, it's
and
low.
then it increased to 1200 just like thrice.
Yeah. So that's why you have to keep checking it.
Yeah, then
Yeah.
stop it.
Yeah.
Once a week, that 50,000 IU? How much is your weight? It's very low. Or?
How much was it? Your
How much was
D3?
50,000 IU.
No, how much was your vitamin D?
14.
14 is
Oh,
too
yeah,
low.
that's
How
why.
you- see.
Yeah, that's why.
And in Ayurveda,
But that's okay.
therapy, we say
Because vitamin D is a hormone.
rice and curd.
It is responsible for
When you dip
most
it
of
for
your
3
body
hours to
functions.
4 hours.
Anyhow,
And we
guys,
say
sorry
it
to
is one
interrupt
Yeah.
now because we are short of time. So let me introduce my new body butter, which I'm very excited, and I also posted on MYWOW. So this, like, I'm like really done with all the chemicals in the products, daily use products. So what I'm doing now, I'm trying to go one by one, especially the cosmetics. And if I can make it at home, I'm trying my best. Only thing, when we make it at home, we can regulate the preservatives, but we cannot make a big bunch of these products and keep it just outside because they'll go bad. So just make a small batch. So this is the body butter I made. It's just very 3 ingredients: cocoa butter, shea butter, and coconut oil. But the way you make it, it really helps to, like, retain the consistency. And my other video is coming up soon, which I have recorded. So do watch out this body butter, and I'm going to give you a test right now. Taster test. Water.
So what are we going to do?
Taste.
You can apply and see how you feel. It's just it is really good, and you will feel amazing. I think once you start making these butters at home, we should just really get rid of all the cosmetics, all the body lotion, even soaps. Yeah. And it smells amazing.
I have.
So I'm excited. Yeah. You do have to put essential oils. So
I took many.
shea butter. It's really nice, and
है ना?
you
It's so,
feel.
मतलब it's so मुलायम. It's like a soft.
Everyone, my
soft.
daughters say,
Very
Mama, you can
nice.
start.
Light on the
You
body.
teach yoga, no?
It's really good.
Very nice.
Yeah, yeah. I don't mind. I think I'll do. Even. Yeah, this is like. See what really pissed me off. I get sorry. What
I'll tell
really,
you. I'll tell you.
really, I get very annoyed with the ingredient list. And I tried my best to find a good body butter. I think there are few brands which make pure and all, but again they're so expensive. $65. They're all above $50. And this would have cost me, frankly telling you guys, not more than $6-7. Because you buy in bulk and then you just do it.
Saves our money and health.
Yeah, saves our money and health, and you feel
Obviously.
amazing.
So, but we have to get that organic cocoa butter.
Yes,
shea
yeah, but organic, if you buy in bulk, it doesn't cost much. Like you're getting a big packet of organic shea butter, and you're using just 1/3 cup, 1/3 cup of each, and you can make this big bottle.
Where do you buy the organic shea butter?
Yeah, I'll let you know all the links and everything in my video.
This is
So,
really good, Rashmi.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Some Ayurveda product.
Rose.
Yeah.
I'm not able to recall.
Yeah, I bought. Yeah. So I'm like super excited. Next will be a perfume. Roll-on perfume, because another perfume is one thing which we don't find without preservative, no matter how much, how hard. Sunblock, yeah. 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 Yeah, no, I don't mind. I'm all into it now. So let me thank you, Pooja. Let's give.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. It takes so much effort to make all these slides, guys. We really appreciate her time, her effort, and thank you all for coming.
Yeah.
So we can have some chai and some chit chat. So yeah, thank you all the viewers. It was wonderful that you all stick to us until the end. So see you next time.